Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are going to deploy a serverless service to AWS. So the first thing that you need to know is what exactly is the serverless. Serverless is a way to describe the service, practices and strategies that enable you to build more agile applications so you can innovate and respond to change faster. Serverless services like AWS Lambda come with automatic scaling, built-in high availability, and pay-for-value billing model. In a serverless service, you as a developer do not need to worry about where and how your code runs, or how computer resources are managed. AWS Lambda also supports major programming languages such as Java, Node.js, JavaScript, Python, etc. So let's take a look at what are the basic components of a serverless service. So the first thing is the trigger event or event trigger, which is fired on the base on a request or an event through an endpoint or a gateway, which is then communicated with the serverless service runtime. Runtime is where our code runs. The runtime then takes the code from the storage and executes the request, resulting in a performing the operation and sends the request back through the endpoint. Once this process is finished, the serverless runtime is discarded. This process is short-lived, especially the part with the runtime. So we are going to deploy a very simple serverless service. In our case, we have an HTTP request as an event trigger, which will then use Amazon AWS API Gateway to communicate with the Amazon AWS Lambda, which provides the runtime for our code to run. This code will be stored in AWS S3 storage bucket. Now, we are going to need a template or a code to store all of this infrastructure, and we are going to do it with the help of CloudFormation. So CloudFormation gives you an easy way to model a collection of related AWS and third-party resources, provision them quickly and consistently, and manage them throughout their life cycles by treating the infrastructure as code. A CloudFormation template describes your desired resources and their dependencies so you can launch and configure them together as a stack. CloudFormation is going to help us set up all of this infrastructure. So let's see what is AWS CloudFormation. In our case, the AWS CloudFormation takes a JSON or a YAML configuration file containing the resources description and configuration for the S3 gateway and Lambda to be deployed in AWS. To build this CloudFormation template, here we are going to use a serverless framework. So a serverless framework helps you deploy and develop your AWS Lambda functions along with the AWS infrastructure resources they require. It is a CLI that offers structure, automation, and best practices, allowing you to focus on building sophisticated event-driven serverless architecture comprised of functions and events. So basically, the serverless framework allows us to publish our functions, which contains a logic, and the infrastructure code, which contains all our components we need to deploy the function. Serverless framework has two sets of files. One of them is handler.js, containing the functions and the logic, and the other one is server.yaml, containing the metadata for the infrastructure. It also defines the trigger events, in this case HTTP request. So let me just demonstrate how you could build a simple serverless service in AWS. So log into your AWS account, log into your console, type IAM, click on the user once it's loaded. So now you're going to click on the user tab and you're going to click on add user, and you're going to type username, in this case serverless at admin. And you're going to give and provide the programmatic access, because we are going to use the AWS API and CLI, and we just give next. Now we are going to click on attach existing policies directly, and we are going to give it the rights, the administrative rights access, and click next and add the keyword. Now we can add anything. Here I've added admin. Now we'll click next and we'll click create user. Now you'll be given an access key and a secret key, so make sure you copy it somewhere and keep it, because we are going to need it when we pass a command in the CLI. So now let's log into AWS CLI. So you're going to need to pre-install the AWS CLI. Now we're going to verify the node version by typing node v. Let's install the npm module by using npm install -g serverless. Once this is installed, we'll create a simple directory. This will host our files locally. Now let's configure the credentials, since it is important for API to deploy our services. So we'll use this command and we'll paste the access keys we copied before when we created the user. Once this is done, we are going to create a template for our service. The serverless provides a template that is the handler.js and server.yaml. So we'll use this command, that is serverless create --template AWS, and we are going to do it in Node.js, and the path here is usually the name of the service. So our name of the service is test service. Once you have created the template, you can go ahead and make changes if you want, but I'm not going to, because I am deploying a very simple service. Now at the endpoint we get a HTTPS. So we are going to run that. It is going to be our endpoint. We are going to execute it, and now we can see that the message first serverless service. So as you saw that we received a message stating first serverless service, which means the code worked and we could see it at our endpoint. That means our service was deployed. So that's it for today, and thank you for watching.